Okay, friends, what we have to discuss now, what we have made a discussion on the day. Hello, Lakshmi Priya, Srivarsha, co-host. என்ன பார்த்தோம் நம்ம? Postmorian quality பார்த்தோம். Okay, okay, friends. Yeah, we'll discuss the postmorian quality. Let we have our discussion today on postmorian economic life, religious, their social structure and culture. Okay. Okay. Postmorian economy, religion, society, and culture. Okay. First one is the. என்ன சொன்ன? அதான் provincial empire. By that postmorian polity comes to end. We have completed the postmorian polity. Okay. Okay. Now postmorian economy. Say postmorian period, economy of the postmorian period was influenced by external trade, influenced by trade. That is the external trade. வர மாட்டேங்குது. என்ன பண்ண?
எதுவுமே டூப்ளிகேட் வச்சு
F4.
எக்ஸ்டெண்ட்னா வந்து இதுல பாலிஸ்டிங் இருக்கும், மீதி பாலிஸ்டிங் ஆகுது. மோஸ்ட்லி கேமிங் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க.
F4.
எக்ஸ்டெண்ட்.
Okay, friends. It was the economy was highly influenced by the external trade. Okay, as like the today's economy influenced by the global trade. That is the external trade. The external trade in the form of could be studied, could be explored with the by studying the Silk Route. The external trade became prominent in this period because of the factors that made external trade to become prominent. One was the Silk Route. The Silk Route that integrated, that connected China, East Asia to Central Asia to India, connected India, Iran, Persia, Asia Minor, Turkey, and the Europe. Then the second one is it was the monsoons, understanding the monsoons. Okay, understanding the monsoons. Then the third reason was post-Mauryan trade became very significant because of the rulers, because of the rulers. The rulers were mostly, the rulers promoted the trade. The rulers, especially the trans-cultural rulers, that means those rulers, the foreign rulers, the foreign rule in India, Sakas, Kushanas, Pahlavas, were all promoted trade. That was promoted by the promoted trade. Then the nature of trade of the post-Mauryan period could be acknowledged, could be studied with the sources of certain inscriptions. The sources to study the post-Mauryan trade. That is, it could be understood through the inscription as well as through the literary resources. Literature. In literature, the post-Mauryan literature, one is the Periplus of Erythraean Sea. Periplus of the Erythraean Sea. Periplus of Erythraean Sea was authored by an unknown Greek author. Then second of the literature called as Christian Indifelders, topography, Christian topography as the post-Mauryan literature by Cosmas Indifelders. As the literature that highlighted the trade. Then the Sangam literature, Sangam and the post-Sangam literature. These are all the literatures that informs the existence of the trade as the mostly the trade of Indo-Roman trade, the Indo-China trade, and Indo-Persian, Indo-Roman, and Indo-Persian in the Indo-China trade, in which the inscriptions also helpful to understand the pattern of trade. One is One is the Red Sea inscription. Red Sea, Red Sea inscription. Red Sea inscription was established by the Indian diaspora, Indian merchant diaspora, Indian merchant diaspora in the Red Sea, the Indian merchant diaspora in the Red Sea, with the temple dedicated to Vasudeva Krishna, with the temple dedicated to Vasudeva Krishna, in which there they it was inscribed as the Sohan salutes Pan. Sohan salutes Pan for good voyage. Sohan salutes Pan for good voyage. That means the inscription was was established by an Indian merchant called Sohan, as if he is saluting to Vasudeva Krishna for the good voyage. It was the Red Sea inscription near Alexandria, in near to Egypt, seems to be the sources that informs the pattern of trade. These sources highlights the post-Mauryan trade, that the nature of the post-Mauryan trade highlighted by these sources in the form of roots, in the form of roots, ports, ports, then commodities, roots, ports, and the commodities. It informs the roots of and the ports of western coast and the eastern coast of India. The important post-Mauryan ports as the ports in the western coast and the eastern coast of India. The important port, one is Barukacha, 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 Baru, Barukacha, that is the important port could be stated as the important port called as Baroch, Baroch or Barukacha, Barukacha, Barukacha. Then the port in the western coast, the most important port, that was Sopara, Sopara, Sopara. Then Tundi, Tundi, Tundi. Then Musuri, Musiri, Musiri as the important port in the western coast. Then the eastern coast, the important port that is the port of Korke, the port of Korke, Korke, that is the Tuticorin, Tuticorin today, port of Korke. Then the important port was stated by Periplus called as Sopatama, Sopatama, Sopatama. Sopatama was the Puhar or Kaveri Pumpatna, Puhar. Then the important ports as the Harike, 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 Harike is the Pondicherry, Arikamedu of Pondicherry. The important port in Bengal as Tamralipti, Tamralipti. Then Masoli, that is Masulipatnam, Masulipatnam as the important ports. in the eastern coast and the western coast of India. Eastern coast and the western coast of India. Then what are the commodities of trade? The commodities means exports, Indian exports to others. Then the imports. Imports. Indians imported mostly bullions, bullion, that is gold, gold from the Rome, gold from the Rome. Then Indians imported slaves, slaves, Roman slaves, the black slaves. Then Indians also imported horses, horses. Then Roman wine, Roman wine. Then Indians imported even corals, corals from Alexandria, corals. Then Indians imported Eretrian ware, Eretrian, Eretrian ware, Eretrian ware, a type of Roman ceramics made out of the Roman ceramics. These were the major imports. Then exports. What India exported? India exported spices. Spices, the major export, which was called as Yavanapriya. Yavanapriya means spices, milagu, kambu. Why they imported spices? Why they imported spices? Why they imported friends? Why Romans imported spices? Their food is not spicy. Okay. Why they imported spice? Because they imported spices because spices acts as preservatives. Spices acts as preservatives. Because of long winter, Europe known for the long winter. So this long winter means problems of fodder, green fodder for cattle. So they slaughter all the cattle before winter because grass don't available. They slaughter the cattle and preserves the cattle. Preservation done by Indian spices. Indian spices. Then they imported, they exported cotton textiles called as Sindan. Sindan means cotton textiles. Cotton textiles. Then third, they also exported iron armory, iron weapons, or iron armory. They exported. Then they also exported ivory, ivory, sandal, sandal, precious gems, precious gems as the various exports. Okay. Then the roots, the roots, the roots that was the Silk Route, the Silk Route, the route that was the Silk Route, the Silk Route, in which the Silk Route is being connected. to India in Peshawar, is connected to India in the Peshawar. In the Peshawar, from Peshawar, it enters into the roots of India, in which ancient Indian text talks about three major trade routes of India, three major grand trunk roads, three major grand trunk roads. One was Himavat Pada, Himavat Pada, Himavat Pada. Two, Uttarapada, Uttarapada. Then third, Dakshinapada, Dakshina Pada, Himavat Pada, Uttarapada, then the Dakshinapada as the Dakshinapada. Himavat is one that runs in the foothills of the Himalayas. The foothills of the Himalayas. Himavat starts from Taxila, Peshawar, then along the foothills, up to that you reach Rajagraha or Pataliputra. Then Uttarapada that connects Silk Route. Uttarapada that connects Silk Road, then enters Mathura, then throughout the southern banks of Ganges, that is Uttarapad. It runs through the southern banks of Ganges, meets the Himavatpada at Rajagraha, then connects Bengal, port in Bengal. Then we have Dakshinapada. Dakshinapada starts from Prasistana. Starts from Prasistana. Prasistana was the present Nasik of Satavahana. Prasistana. From Prasistana, it enters into the central India, then enters Kalinga. Then through the Eastern Ghats, it runs through East Coast Road of India today. Runs through the East Coast Road of the India today. So these were the three major Grand Trunk Road. These three major Grand Trunk Road known for arterial connections, other road connections, medium roads, minor roads connect. By that, the trade became highly interactive, which resulted in a material culture acknowledged in geography, in archaeology. It was row-lettered, the row-lettered ware culture, row-lettered ware of the Kushanas, where the pottery is having the bands as the row-lettered ware. Then in the place of Roman settlements, it was known for Aratrine ware. Aratrine ware represents the place of Roman settlements. There were the three Roman diaspora places in India. Three Roman diaspora. One was Arikamedu of Pondicherry. Second one is Adichanallur. Adichanallur. Adichanallur and Arikamedu. were the two major places of Roman diaspora in which Eritrean ware existed. Eritrean ware. Where in Tamilagam, there exists another ware as the black and red ware. Black and red ware. So different types of pottery in different regions marks the rise of regionalism. Marks the rise of regionalism in the post-Mauryan period. Post-Mauryan period. So it is the extensive trade. The extensive trade operated by the extensive trade in which global demand, Roman demand, has to need more goods. How to produce more goods? How the artisans produced more goods? How the artisans produced the goods of global demand? How? How? Hello, hello, people online. Anas,
Yes, sir.
how the artisans produced more goods required for the Romans, Persians, Chinese? How artisans produced more goods because of the corporates. It was the corporates involved in production. That was the ancient corporates. Post-Mauryan period was known for emergence of ancient corporates called as Shrenis, called as the Shrenis or Nigamas. Shrenis are the Nigamas. The genesis of the Shrenis or Nigamas belongs to Mauryan period, belongs to the Mauryan age. It was Arthashastra. Arthashastra states that Shrenis or the Nigamas should have three criteria. One is there should have a leader, Jestaka, Jestaka, a leader. Then they should have a law called Shreni Dhamma, Shreni Dhamma, and they should be registered. They should be registered under state laws. Registered under the state law. That is the genesis of the ancient corporates. And the nature of the ancient corporates, they are known for monopoly in production, of goods, any goods or services, known for monopoly. That known for only those Shreni can produce a particular goods in a particular regions. In a particular region, they enjoyed the monopoly, and they were organized by a panchayats, organized by a panchayat, and the Shrenis are nothing but the guilds, should have a master, and apprentice, then a leader called Jestaka, the guild leader, and should have the law. That is the nature of Shreni, in which Buddhist sources, Diga Nikaya of the Buddhist sources, Buddhist literature talks about 12 number of Shreni, in the city of Rajagraha. In the city of Rajagraha, Digha Nikaya talks about 12 number of guilds. And same in the Digha Nikaya belongs to the Mauryan period. It belongs to the Mauryan period. Whereas in the post-Mauryan period, it was Milinda Panko. Milinda Panko talks about 24 types of guilds in the same city of the Rajagraha. 24 types of guilds in the same city of the Rajagraha. Then it was the Guptan period. It was the Guptan period. Mahavastu of the Guptan period talks about the 48 types of guilds in the city of Rajagraha. 48 types of guilds in the city of Rajagraha. So Shrenis in ancient India expanded with the with the with the time. With the time, it expanded with the time. So that is the nature of the guilds. Post-Mauryan period known for the economic prosperity, the overall economic prosperity of the people of India. The overall economic prosperity of the people of India. The overall economic prosperity could be acknowledged with the coins issued in large number. Coins issued in large number. The overall economic prosperity could be acknowledged with the regional urbanization, with the rise of new urban towns, the new urban towns of the post-Mauryan period. So that is the nature of economy of the post-Mauryan period. Then society of the post-Mauryan period. What type of society? That is the society of the post-Mauryan period. Post-Mauryan society. Post-Mauryan society. The hallmark of the post-Mauryan society was of rise of jatis. Rise of the jatis. That is the birth of jatis or caste groups. Caste groups in ancient India. Jati is different from Varna. Varna exists as a social stratification since the Vedic age. But Jati came to exist since the post-Mauryan times. The Varna is different from the Jati. In Varna, the four Varnas as the Brahmanas, then Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Sudras, four Varnas. The difference between Varna and the Jati. Varna means social class of vertical stratification of Indian social classes, vertical stratification of the social classes. Jati means within the Varna, there exist some jatis, that is occupational, that is the horizontal categorization of the social groups, that is jati. Varna is rank and the ritual status. Rank and the Varna specifies the rank and the ritual status. Whereas Jati specifies, well, then Jati specifies occupational status. Occupational status. Then Varna was a stratified structure, is a pan-Indian structure. Pan-Indian structure. Throughout India, it exists the same type of stratifications. Pan-Indian structure, all India structure. Whereas Jati was known for regional positions, regional positions. A caste group as a dominant one in a particular region, but not in the other region. You see, Vanya community known for dominant peasant community in the northern regions, but not in the south. But not in the south. That is the regional positions. Then Varna is permanent. Varna is permanent from the Vedic age to the till date. Varna exists in a stratified category. Whereas jatis are many jatis born, many jatis disappear. Varna jatis are dynamic and non-permanent one. Dynamic and non-permanent one. So post-Mauryan period, post-Mauryan society was known for rise of jatis. Rise of jatis. Jati means a social group. A social group, that is, jati was called as caste by the Portuguese. What is a caste? What is a caste? What is a caste? What is a caste? Hello? Caste. The term caste was pronounced by Portuguese, viewing the jati groups as the casta based on homogeneity, urmai, homogeneity, as like the caste of metal, a metal heated become caste of the single element. Portuguese seen the particular group act as a single mindset, so they call it as casta. That became caste. Then what is caste? Define caste. Hello, people online. Please define caste. Hello.
Division in religion, sir.
Huh?
Division in religion.
No.
Division in a religion.
In India, all the religion is having caste now. It is not religion. Christianity demands reservation for the Dalit Christians. That means Dalits occurred in religion of Christians. All the religions is having caste. Then what is caste? What is caste? What is caste? What is caste? Jadi என்ன? தமிழ்ல சொல்லுங்க. என்ன ஜாதி? என்ன?
social organization.
Social
Category.
category. Any community, caste community, or togupu, community or togupu. Jati என்ன எதை ஜாதி religion கூட ஒரு community, tribe or community. Then what is caste community? Caste is a social group. A caste is social group. Social group functions, exist with the solidarity of the members. Solidarity of the members. Utmai of the members. Members. Solidarity of the members. Practices. 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 Practices the intermarriages. Practices the intermarriages and interdining and interdining within 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 the within their social frontiers, within their social frontiers. புரியுதா? Within their social frontiers. அவர்கள் சமூகத்துக்குள்ளேயே மன உறவுகள், திருமண உறவுகள் மற்றும் சடங்குகள். That is called as caste. That is called as the caste. So two important practices of the caste. One is the marriages within the groups. That is endogamy. Endogamy. That practices endogamy. That is marriages within the group. And ritual dinings. And the ritual dinings. That is called as caste. That is called as the caste. Then this caste, then the emergence of the caste, the birth of the caste. What are the factors led to the emergence of the rise of caste? What are the factors led to the rise of caste? Why the caste emerged in India? Why the caste emerged in India? Is that the Brahmin created caste? How the caste emerged in India? Hello, people online. What are the reasons for the rise of caste system in India? Why? How caste came into exist in India? How caste came into exist in the Indian society? இது ஜமீன்தார்ல ஏன்ஷியன்ட்ல வந்துடுச்சு. ஜமீன்தார் all belongs to medieval and modern period. அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே வந்துடுச்சு. Even before the zamindar, caste came. Why caste came? Very good. It is the transformation of guild. It is the transformation of guild groups, transformation of the guild groups resulted in jatis, resulted in the jatis. It was the guilds that practiced a trade or craft, a trade or the craft. This trade or craft inherited. It is the guilds organized by their own panchayats, and it is the guilds in course of time practiced endogamy, the endogamy that resulted in the emergence of the caste. It was Mandosar inscription in Madhya Pradesh. Mandasar inscription in the Madhya Pradesh, Mandasar Kalvette. It talks about the people came, the people of oil vendors, Tailakas, oil vendors, the people of the oil vendors migrated from Saurashtra, came over to central India, the people belongs to the guild, of oil vendors, migrated from Central Asia, they migrated from Saurashtra and settled in Central Asia, but changed their occupations. They changed their occupations. Some became hunters, some became artisans, some became traders, and some became agriculturists. But despite of change in their occupation, they claimed the membership of the guild they belongs. They claimed the membership of the guild that belong. That represents the earliest evidence of a caste. That was seen in Mandasar inscription. So it was the guild groups. The guild became prominent during the post-Mauryan period because the guild known for Shreni Dhamma, called as a guild law. Guild law was equal to the state law. It was equal to the king law, equal to the king's law. A nun, a woman, sources states that a woman to become nun should have the permission not only from her husband, but also the guild that belongs to the husband. The guild also should give the permission. So post-Mauryan period, guilds became a prominent part. Guilds became regulators of the society. Guilds became the regulators of the society. Guild groups are the corporate group of traders and the craftsmen. And guild group create a corporate sense and the social relationship. Despite of change in their occupations, they became the member of that guild group that led to formation of the caste. So that is the society. the society that existed during the post-Mauryan period. Society. Then religion during the post-Mauryan period. What is the religion? The religion during the post-Mauryan period. Religions were always the reflection of the age. Religions are always the reflection of the age. Post-Mauryan period was known for the age of economic prosperity. The age of the economic prosperity. It was the age of economic prosperity, and it was the age of economic prosperity of masses, common people, economic prosperity of the common people. So they need a religion of their own, a religion to suit their own, resulted in the emergence of liberal religions, liberal and popular religions, liberal and the popular religions. The liberal and popular religions as Mahayanism, as the Mahayanism in Buddhism, as the Mahayanism. The liberal and popular religions as Bhagavatism, as the Bhagavatism. Then Saivism, then the Saivism, which became popular, and which became these are all the liberal religions. Liberal religions to suit the age, to suit the age. The people's perception is to have material rejoice of the world. All those religions advocated heaven. Heaven. In Mahayanism, it was Sukhavati, the Buddhist heaven of Mahayanism. Then in Bhagavatism, it was Vaikuntha. Saivism, an ideal state called as Kailash, where even Jainism advocated an ideal of Kalpavriksha, a tree that gives the boons, So post-Mauryan period was known for the emergence of the liberal religions. Because of liberal perception of the people. You see, in the pre-Mauryan period, the economy created stress in the society. Economic transformation of the pre-Mauryan period resulted in the stress. So religions advocated Salekana. Religion advocated meditation. Religion advocated the hard life of monks and the nun. The life of monks and the nun. That belongs to the post-Mauryan period. That is pre-Mauryan. But in the post-Mauryan period, it was the economy led to social prosperity. So people want to enjoy. That resulted in the liberal religions. The liberal religions in Buddhism was the sect of Mahayanism in the Buddhism. It is very liberal of simply worshipping Buddha simply worshipping Buddha in the form of idol, in the form of the idol, worshipping Buddha as the Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva, in the form of idol, simply worshipping Buddha as Avalakotisvara, worshipping Buddha as the Avalakotisvara, which means Avalakotisvara, the Buddha who gives, called as Lord of Mercy, called as Lord of Mercy, or the Lord who looks down, the Lord who looks down, Lord of Mercy, or the Lord who looks down. Then Buddha to worship in the form of Manjusri, Manjusri, Buddha to worship in the form of the Manjusri, Manjusri, that means the Lord with the sword, the Lord with the sword, the Lord with the sword of slaying ignorance, Lord with the sword of slaying ignorance, slaying the ignorance, Lord with the sword. Then Buddha was worshipped. Buddha was worshipped in the form of Buddha worshipped in the form of Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. That is the Lord who gives immeasurable glory. அளவில்லா புகழை தருபவர். Immeasurable glory. The Lord who gives the immeasurable glory. Then Buddha was worshipped as Kishtigarbha. Kishtigarbha. The Lord who protects, the Lord who protects the fetus, post-Mauryan period, a material world. People worship the gods for material boon, which include the children's fetus. That is, it is a liberal religion. Instead of having a monastic life, a hard life as an hermit, instead of chasing the ideal of Buddhahood, simply worshipping Buddha as God. Buddha is the God, incarnated God. Bodhisattva means incarnation of Buddha, avadaram, incarnation of Buddha, incarnation of Buddha. Bodhisattva represents a Buddha who born in the world as a man of 10 virtues. The man of 10 virtues. 10 kalyana gunangalai kondavar. Okay, the man of 10 virtues. Bodhisattva means a soul. A soul is yet to attain salvation. But waiting for other lives to get salvation. So he born again and again and enables the souls to get salvation. Jataka stories talks about 550 birth of the Bodhisattvas. 550 Bodhisattvas who born again and again. Bodhisattva born as man, as woman, as animal, as a deer, as a snake, as a lion, as a heroic man, and works for the society, was for the people to attain the salvation, to attain the salvation. That is the Bodhisattva. What is the difference between the Bodhisattva, the Mahayanism? Mahayanism came as a new religion, approved as a religion since the fourth Mahasangha of Buddhism. In the fourth Mahasangha, the fourth Grand Council of Buddhism, held in Kashmir, under the King Kanishka, in Kashmir, in which the Buddhism splitted itself. As the Hinayana, and the Mahayana. Hinayana and Mahayana. What's the difference between the Hinayana and the Mahayana? What's the difference? Hinayana, which means a lesser vehicle, and Mahayana, the greater vehicle in the Buddhist terms. The difference in Hinayana, the Buddhahood is important. Buddha is important in Hinayana. Whereas in Mahayana, it was the Bodhisattvahood. Bodhisattvahood is important in Mahayana. In Hinayana, it was the Buddha symbols. The symbols of Buddha was honored and respected. Buddha's footprint, Buddha's lotus figure, the wheel, Dharma Chakra, respected. In Mahayana, the symbols were worshipped. In Hinayana, known for the literature in the Hinayana, known for Pali literature in Pali language, whereas in Mahayana, it is Sanskrit literature in Mahayana. Okay, Sanskrit literature in the Mahayana. That is the difference. The difference between the Hinayana and the Mahayana. Mahayana became prominent, popular in China, Korea, Central Asia, Mongolia, Central Asia, Japan, and the East Asia. Whereas the Hinayana became popular in Sri Lanka, as well as in the East Asian countries, in which the Hinayana became popular. What's the reason for the Hinayana? What's the reason for the emergence of Mahayana form of Buddhism? What is the reason? Reason for the emergence of Mahayana form of Buddhism. One is the emergence of liberal perception of the people. The liberal perception of post-Mauryan times. Okay, they need simple religion, liberal and simple, simply worshipping Buddha as God. Okay, then second reason was the second reason That is the impact of Jainism, the Jaina concept of Mahakalpa, transit nature of the universe, and Tirthankara attracted the Buddhist and adopted the concept of incarnations. Attracted the Buddhist and adopted the concept of incarnations. Then third, Hinayana became prominent in India because of royal patronization, royal support to the Mahayana form of Buddhism. Royal support. Kanishka promoted, then followed by Arsha, Arsha also promoted. Then later it was followed by some of the rulers like Maitrakas of the rulers like the Maitrakas of Vallabi also promoted the Hinayana Buddhism, promoted the Mahayana form of Buddhism. So these were the reasons that led to Mahayanism. And the Buddhism came into different sects in this period. The Buddhism became into different sects. The sects of Hinayanism, and the sects of Mahayanism. What are the sects of Hinayanism? Different sects of Hinayanism. One is Theravadians. Theravadians represents the original sect of the Buddhism. Original sects of the sect of Buddhism, which is popular in Sri Lanka. Then the second one is the second important was Sautrantikas, a sect of Hinayanism. Sautrantikas, a sect of Hinayanism, who believed the existence of otherworld influence. Otherworld influence, as the Buddha gone outside. Otherworld influence. Then Sarvastivadins who stated that every aspect of the universe was of Dhamma, who actually every Dhamma exists in a latent form. Dhamma exists in a latent form. In every aspect of the universe. That is Dhamma. Then fourth one, Samityas, called the soul theory of Buddhism. Soul theory. Buddhist believes on existence of a soul called Pudgala, which means a soul, that the Buddhists believe. Buddha stated that there is no soul at all. There is no permanency of the soul. But the Buddhist Hinayanism later stated existence of the soul in the Buddhism. So these were the sects of Hinayanism. These are the sects of the Hinayanism. Then sects of Mahayanism. The sects of the Mahayanism. There were the two sects of in the கேள்வி ஒவ்வொரு வருஷம் ஒவ்வொன்னு கேக்குறாங்க. இந்த sects ஒவ்வொரு வருஷம் ஒன்னு கேட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்க. Okay. Mahayanism. Two sects of Mahayanism. They are Madhyamikas. And second one is Yogacharas. Madhyamikas. And second one is the Yogacharas. Yogacharas were also called as Vijnanavadins. It was Ashwagosha who promoted this idea of Yogacharas. Yogacharas or Vijnanavadins believe that everything in this world is nothing but Maya, which is illusions and imaginations. That is a sector promoted by a group of Mahayanism headed by Ashwagosha. Ashwagosha was the prominent of it. Sarvastivadin, who states everything is universe. In reality, the reality of the universe is Dhamma. They are called as realist. Whereas Yogacharas, who stated everything in this world is nothing but imagination. That song, நிற்பதும் நடப்பதும் இவையெல்லாம் காட்சி பொருள் தானோ கற்பனை தானோ. I will listen. நானும் ஒரு கற்பனையோ. It is nothing but imagination. They are called as idealist. The idealist. Okay. They believe it is a dream going on. And we are dreaming in the dream. Nothing in this universe. Dreaming in the dream. This is called as extreme idealist. Where these peoples were called as Sarvastivadins were called as extreme realist. Whereas Madhyamikas, they stated in the midst of ideal thing, the only reality is Buddha. The only reality is Buddha. They are called as centrist. Centrist. The most prominent member of the centrist called Nagarjuna, a philosopher who promoted Madhyamikavada. This represents 7 important sects of the Buddhism. 4 sects belongs to Hinayanism. கிளைகள். Okay, வழிபாட்டு முறை. And the 2 sects belongs to Mahayanism. Okay, va? Mahayanism. So in Mahayanism, Buddha was worshipped as idols. One thing that you should not forget, it was the Buddhism was the earliest religion to follow idol worship in India. Buddhism was the earliest religion to follow idol worship, where the Hinduism borrowed only from the Buddhism. It was the Mahayana Buddhist. The earliest idols belongs to Mathura. Mathura idols. It was Mathura sculpture. Mathura நுண்கலை தான் முதலில் விக்கிரகங்கள் தந்தது. It was practiced by Buddhism, later borrowed by Jainism, borrowed by Hinduism, borrowed by all the religions, borrowed by all the religions across the world. There are two sects of Mahayanism. One is Yogacharas or Vijnanavadins, and second one is Madhyamikas, and the four sects of the Hinayanism. Okay. ஒவ்வொரு செக்டும் ஒவ்வொரு வாட்டி our Jainism is a sect that constitutes Mahayanism in the post-Mauryan period. Then we have the next of the liberal religion that has to be studied was Bhagavatism. Bhagavatism, which became popular during the post-Mauryan period. Or piece of the law, or break. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Let us start. Bhagavatism emerged as a religion which became popular during the Guptan times. Bhagavatism was also the product of post-Mauryan trade and the liberal perception of the people. To know Bhagavatism, let us study the genesis of the Bhagavatism. Then factors for the rise of Bhagavatism. Okay. Then the philosophy of Bhagavatism. Philosophy of Bhagavatism. Okay. Then its significance. The genesis of the Bhagavatism. Bhagavatism is called as the religion of devotees, devotion, which emphasized on devotion, bhakti. What are the factors for the rise of Bhagavatism? The genesis of the Bhagavatism was seen in the Vedic cults. In the Vedic cult, it was Vishnu. Vishnu mentioned in the Rig Veda. The Vishnu mentioned in the Rig Veda as a solar god, and as the minor god, a minor god who measured the universe in three steps. Who measured the universe in 3 steps. And later, it was Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad of the earliest reference, the earliest reference, the earliest reference of Vasudeva Krishna, earliest reference of Vasudeva Krishna as a Bhagavata legend. The first reference of Vasudeva Krishna was seen in the Chandogya Upanishad. How this minor cult became a religion. This minor cult became a religion during the post-Mauryan period. It was due to the factors of trade, the factors of trade, the factors of trade interactions in which goods and commodities exchanged, along with the ideas, along with the ideas. It was intermingling of the cultures, the intermingling of the Vedic culture, intermingling of the a Vedic cult of Vishnu, along with the tribal cult of Narayana, along with the Greek cult of Heracles, the Greek counterpart of Vasudeva Krishna, Heracles, as well as the cult of Tamil-speaking people, Mayon, the Sangam cult of Mayon of the Sangam people. Mayon, a cult practiced by the Sangam age, by the people who lived in forest areas, called as the Mayon, were all converged into the rise of Bhagavatism. Were all converged into the rise of the Bhagavatism. It was the Mathura inscription. It was the Mathura inscription. The Mathura inscription that informs the emergence of Bhagavatism, as a religion. Mathura inscription for the first time having the term called as Puja Sila Prakara. As a institutionalized religion. And later it was the inscription called as Bisnagar pillar inscription. Bisnagar pillar inscription. Bisnagar pillar inscription. Bisnagar pillar inscription in Madhya Pradesh with the capital eagle called as Garud pillar inscription. Garud pillar inscription was dedicated by a Greek ambassador called as Heliodorus. Heliodorus was a Greek ambassador to the Sunga ruler, Bhagavatara, the Sunga ruler, where the Heliodorus came from the Achaemenian Empire, emperor called as Antichialdus, an Achaemenian ruler who sent an ambassador to the Sunga king. On his way, Heliodorus dedicated this inscription. Dedicated this inscription to the Vasudeva Krishna. This reflects the rise of Bhagavatism as a popular belief system during the post-Mauryan times. Popular belief system during the post-Mauryan times. Then philosophy of Bhagavatism. The philosophy of the Bhagavatism. What is the philosophy of the Bhagavatism? Bhagavata philosophy. The core concept of Bhagavatism was of karma. Karma. To Bhagavatism, karma means actions. To do. Bhagavatism states that actions has to be performed as the duties. As to perform as the duties. As to perform as the duties in the life. In the life, you see the difference in the pre-Mauryan period. Karma means impact of action. Jainism advocates not to involve in karma, not to involve in the karma. Whereas in the post-Mauryan period, the same karma means duties, action. In the pre-Mauryan period, not to do. In the post-Mauryan period, to do. Where Vasudeva Krishna states that it is Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma. That means performance of duties without expecting results. Without expecting the results. The duties to be performed without expecting the results. For the salvation. For the salvation. How the duties can perform without expecting the results for the salvation. Or that Vasudeva Krishna states that the salvation can be achieved either by the knowledge, called as jnana, or either by the knowledge or by devotion, called as bhakti, or by the devotion called as the bhakti. Called as the bhakti. Bhakti as a devotion, worshipping Vasudeva Krishna and his brother Samkarshana. Whereas jnana, that means symbolizing Vasudeva Krishna as the para universe, as the para of the universe. That is conceptualizing Vasudeva Krishna as an embodiment of the universe, in which the universe don't have the difference. Universe as a part of it, and the souls as a part of it. So there is no difference between creator and the creator. No difference between creator and the creator. That is a knowledge exploration. Where the Bhagavatism states that salvation can be attained by exploring the knowledge, jnana, or simply worshipping the deities of the Vasudeva Krishna, or